In space, no one can hear you scream like a little girl.
He doesn't scream like a little girl, though.
That's a direct quote from him in the book.
Is it?
Yes.
What book are we talking about?
The Martian.
Oh, no!
By
Cold
Andy
open.
Weir.
Cold open! We went there. Welcome to another episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion podcast. I am Billy Beck.
I am Codie Beck.
And this is our episode on Andy Weir / Ridley Scott's The Martian.
I didn't know it was Ridley Scott. I had forgotten. Oh, no.
Oh, it's one of those ones where, like, he does a good movie, then a bad movie, and then he alternates. This is one of his good ones. It's fine. Then he did, like, Prometheus, or he did Prometheus before. Oh, no, I'm going to get some hate for saying that.
Oh.
People like that movie. And I think they're wrong. So, what is your experience with The Martian? This is going to be a little different from Princess Bride, considering the book came out in, like, 2013.
Yeah, my introduction to this book was you read it, I don't remember why, and you said, you should read this book, and then you proceeded to tell me about it every time you read a portion of it, so I felt like I had already read it by the time I actually read it, and then I think somewhere in there, the movie got announced.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. The Jeff Rubin show did an episode where I think he interviewed Andy Weir.
Of course it was a podcast.
And of
this
course
was
it was.
Andy Weir's first book, by the way.
It's incredible. It's such a good book. So I read it for that podcast because he explicitly said, read the book before we listen to the podcast. Mm-hmm. And I was like, sure. So I read it via Audible. Because I don't like to use my eyes. And then when the movie came out, we saw it at that $2 theater that used to be up the street.
Really? That's what it was? I remember seeing it in theaters, but I thought we saw it like when it came out, not later.
Oh no, it was second run. It was in that $2 theater, and it was a great experience that night. And then I think I watched it one more time when the Blu-ray came out, and hadn't seen it for a couple of years.
I saw it when we watched it, and I have not seen it since.
Yep. So, shall we get into the spoilery, plot-driven part of the show?
Absolutely. This is going to be really interesting because I remembered the book differently. Probably because I was remembering things from the movie.
Every human being has a basic instinct to help each other out. If a hiker gets lost in the mountains, people coordinate a search. If an earthquake levels the city, people all over the world send emergency supplies. This instinct is found in every culture, without exception.
At around 4:30 a.m., our satellites detected a storm approaching the Ares 3 mission site on Mars. The storm had escalated to severe, and we had no choice but to abort the mission. But during the evacuation, astronaut Mark Watney was killed.
I'm entering this log for the record. This is Mark Watney, and I'm still alive. Obviously. I have no way to contact NASA or my crewmates, but even if I could, it would take 4 years for another manned mission to reach me, and I'm in a hab designed to last 31 days. So, in the face of overwhelming odds, I'm left with only one option. I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this. Okay, let's do the math. I gotta figure out how to grow 4 years worth of food here, on a planet where nothing grows. But if I can't figure out a way to make contact with NASA, none of this matters anyway.
Houston, be advised.
We've got a video message. It's directed to the whole crew.
Play it.
Mein Gott. Mark Watney's still alive.
Woo! In your face, Neil Armstrong.
We left him behind. Let's go get our boy.
This is something NASA rejected, so we're talking mutiny. And if we mess up the supply rendezvous, we die. If we mess up the Earth gravity assist, we die.
It's space. it doesn't cooperate. I guarantee you that at some point, everything's gonna go south on you. And you're gonna say, this is it. This is how I end.
Is it possible that he's still alive?
All right, let's get into it. So we start. It is Soul 18 of the Ares 3 mission. I took notes today.
The book is Soul 6.
It's, ooh. You also took notes.
And I feel like they start in the same place. They just kind of crunch the time.
Yeah. It still starts with Sandstorm. Mm-hmm. Things are a little more bleak than they expect them to be with this storm. We need to get off the planet because the MAV, our escape vehicle, basically is going to tip. So everyone to the MAV. Everyone except our hero, botanist Mark Watney.
Botanist and mechanical engineer.
See, I didn't notice anything in the movie that specifies he's a mechanical engineer, even though he does a lot of engineering. I do remember that from the book, but I couldn't remember what his redundancy was.
Because everyone has a redundancy. He also talks about how he has some minor redundancy with chemistry. And
Yes.
he makes a joke about how NASA just assumed that all of the other sciences were the same.
I love his jokes in this movie. We'll get to it. So, Sandstorm, piece of the communication satellite, which is important, impales him in the stomach, piercing his biometric readers, and he is left for dead on the planet Mars, completely alone. Start of movie. Let's go. So I do want to say, real quick, before we really get into it, when I was really little, I wanted to be an astronaut. I don't know if I've ever told you this.
It tracks with who you are as a person.
That's fair. I wanted to be an astronaut, and then I specifically remember one day, my mom said something about it, and I said, "Oh, I don't want to be an astronaut anymore." She asked me why, and my response was, "I don't want to get sucked into black holes."
Oh, baby Bill.
I know, so sad and so stupid. And seeing this movie, I don't want to be an astronaut. I don't want to be stuck on a planet alone.
I'm too claustrophobic.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even do mission space. That's the squishy one at Disney World, right?
It's one of my favorite rides. It's so much fun.
And I didn't realize it was going to trigger my claustrophobia until we were in it the first time.
But we're not watching or talking about a movie
we're not.
that's based on that. That's a different movie. Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, there's a movie based on that ride.
Oh.
Oh, the pain on your face.
Disney, why? Disney, stop.
Disney, like early aughts Disney, why?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this, because at least that's better.
So Mark Watney is alone on Mars.
Yes.
Great scene where, it reminded me of the scene where De Niro removes the bullet from himself in Ronin. When he pulls the comm out of himself, gets a little chunk out of it, staples himself together.
It is 2 sentences in the book, if that.
It is a great scene in the movie, and that depresses me that it's only 2 sentences.
He very much glosses over it.
It's sad, because it's such a cinematic bit. Like, it shows, like, how alone he is, because he's got to do the surgery in a mirror. Mm-hmm. He's got the equipment in front of him, but he's, like, in pain. He shows all this pain in his face. Damon's performance in this movie is incredible. Like, you disagree.
I don't think Damon was a good choice.
Okay.
I don't think he has the right kind of charisma. I want someone that is likable, and I don't think Matt Damon is likable. Please do not come after me.
Oh, I'm not gonna come after you now, but after the mic's off.
I remember being very charmed by him and surprised by him when I watched the movie, but Mark Watney in the book is a dweeb.
Oh, he's a total nerd. I guess, yeah, some of that is lost a little bit. I see your point.
Like, I can't tell you who I think would be a better Mark Watney. I don't think Matt Damon is right.
What about, Ryan Reynolds?
No, absolutely not.
I don't know why that's the name that came to mind.
I thought you were gonna say Ryan Gosling, because I also thought that, but he's too
clean?
He's not... I don't like him either. He's not likable.
I can't imagine him emaciated and naked at the end, though.
Yeah.
Christian Bale?
No, he's too... You need someone young, like relatively young.
This is a discussion for later.
Yeah.
So he's done a little surgery on himself. He starts his journals. That's how we get most of the story for like the first act.
Oh my
of the
god,
movie.
I'm so sorry. Daniel Radcliffe.
Ooh. Okay.
Dweeby, likable. Yeah,
charismatic, smart, funny.
Yes.
Believable. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, please continue your sentence.
So Watney is going through, he does his journal entries. That's how we get his side of the story for like most of the first act.
Is it made explicit? Like, he's filming himself, right?
Yes.
It's like video. It is, he explicitly says that he's writing or typing in the book.
I'm okay with that change.
I think the reason, like, I think Andy Weir is very careful with a lot of choices he makes to deliberately date stuff that he does so that the book will be relevant for longer. Because if you say, oh, there's a lot of 70s TV and you act as though that's old, you're going to be relevant for longer than if you do something current.
Yeah. I something I recall from the book is he made sure to make the science as accurate as possible. Or at least it seemed that way. So I could see in the book, the choice of writing is it takes up less data on whatever server that's being saved on.
Oh, it's not even that. It's, because the stuff is like, at least like the pop culture stuff, the data sticks and all the other personal effects that are given by the crew, that's all their choice.
Yeah, and that's clear in the movie as well.
Yeah.
With Commander Lewis and her disco albums.
Does she also have just all of the 70s TV?
There is a scene where he's watching Happy Days. I almost called it Family Guy, and that's not right. And he does the Fonz pose when they take the picture of him.
Yes, because Annie, the PR rep, is like, I ask for a picture and you give me the Fonz.
No, that is line for line in the movie. Like, word for word.
Maya Rudolph, isn't it?
No, it's Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig. Oh.
Kristen Wiig.
I feel bad for... It's because of The Good Place.
Yeah. So he does these journal entries to tell the story through the first act. And one of the first things he does is take inventory. He recognizes, I'm alone on this planet. I'm going to be alone on this planet for a long time. Let's take inventory of what I have. This is how many rations I have. This is how much XYZ I have. Wait a minute. Do not open till Thanksgiving. Raw potatoes.
Does he not know about them?
I'm not sure. It's not clear in the movie if he knew beforehand. But he gets to that box that says do not open till Thanksgiving, goes, screw it. You know, pop it open. There's sealed raw potatoes in there.
In the book, they explain that they were told about it because it was going to happen over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So they sent the potatoes up because over and over again, he talks about how NASA's all about why are you going to waste space or anything trying to preserve these items when you could just freeze dry them, whatever. But he talks about the shrinks at NASA, as he so kindly calls them, said it would be a good bonding exercise for the crew to make an actual meal together.
Okay.
So that's the reason in the book.
I don't think it's necessary in the movie to have like a specific reasoning like that, but just those simple written on the lid, do not open till Thanksgiving, and inside a dozen potatoes, perfect.
Yes.
So him, being a botanist, goes scoop some dirt in, soil, plants the potatoes, realizes water's an issue, because I guess he's a part-time chemist and mechanical engineer?
Yes.
Mechanical engineer goes, okay, if I burn some jet fuel just right.
So they don't even go into like the poop stuff.
Oh, in the book they don't?
No, I'm saying do.
Oh no, they
movie,
do.
they?
They do, because he's taking a shit when he realizes, oh, that's what I could. I think he takes the shit and then he gets the potatoes.
He gets, yeah.
And that's when it all comes together. So he collects everyone's poop. I think he complains about someone's, like, Johansson's poop smells extra bad when he's using it.
The thing is, in the book, they're also like, I don't need the bacteria, but I need the complex proteins from it.
Oh, I think we as the audience of the movie just understand, okay, poop's a fertilizer.
Yes.
Got it. I see what you're doing here. So, he does do the poop. Gotta make water. Blows himself up once.
That's
I wrote down exactly what he said.
I want to say that's like 50 to 75 pages into the book.
That's, Soul 41 is what I have written down here. He blows himself up. Mm-hmm. But second time, he accounts for his own oxygen. He calls himself stupid for not thinking of it, which is hilarious, because he's doing something well beyond the intelligence of most people.
Is he wearing gear when he does it?
The second time, he wears the helmet.
In the book, he's wearing gear the whole time, but he's not wearing full gear. And he realizes that it's not a perfect seal, and that's where all the oxygen is coming.
You know, the first time, he's just... I think he has safety goggles on.
Of course.
So, yeah, stupid. Stupid, Mark, stupid. Starts growing his potatoes. And this is then the first time when we cut back to Earth and see what's going on down on Earth.
Yes.
And NASA's giving a funeral for him. Because, left for dead on this planet. And then our intrepid journalist... reporter, detective's the word I'm looking for. Mindy Park.
Oh, she works for NASA.
She works for in SATCOM for NASA.
Okay.
But she does like a little detective work and notices, the layout of the camp has changed since they left.
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Do they go into anything about, like, do you see the people at NASA making the argument for why they should or shouldn't look at the campsite and that kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
They go into that because all the pictures that are taken by that satellite must be made public within 24 hours.
Yes.
Because of the kind of organization that NASA is.
Yeah.
So they don't want pictures of that site because they don't want to broadcast to the world a dead body.
Yes.
Whereas, I want to say it's Vincent... Is it Vincent Kapoor?
Venkat Kapoor.
Okay. Where did I get Vincent from? Kapoor wants to take advantage of the fact that there's still a bunch of materials on Mars to plan a 6th Ares mission.
Yes.
They don't want to waste all the resources that are already on the planet. Let's schedule another mission. We need to check out the site first. And that's where...
Teddy is the
Teddy Sanders is the director of NASA.
Okay, yes. He's the guy that is, like, kind of halfway between Venkat and the JPL guys and everyone else and Annie, because he realizes, like, the PR stuff that they have to deal with. And, like, it seems at every turn, like, every decision that he makes is questioned, whereas you don't really have the stuff from... Like, Venkat can make a decision, and it's not necessarily going to be questioned, whereas when Teddy does it, it is. It's an
because he's, like, the director of NASA, as opposed to just the director of the Mars missions,
Yeah.
which is what Kapoor is.
Yes.
So they come to the realization that Mark Watney's still alive, and they ask the question, what is he going through? What is going on in his head? And this is one of, like, the 3 things I remember from the book that changed from the movie, and it pisses me off. Because in the movie, they're like, what is going on in his head? What is he thinking about? And they jump cut to Mark Watney on Mars saying, I am going to die up here if I have to listen to any more disco music. Complaining about Commander Lewis's disco collection. What's the line in the book that's way better?
Teddy swiveled his chair and looked out the window to the sky beyond. Night was edging in. What must it be like, he wondered. He's stuck out there. He thinks he's totally alone and that we all gave up on him. What kind of effect does that have on a man's psychology? He turned back to Venkat. I wonder what he's thinking right now. Log entry, Soul 61. How come Aquaman can control whales? They're mammals. Makes no sense.
I love that joke so much. It's so funny.
It's such a good joke.
It's such a good joke. And it's not in the movie. He's such a nerd.
He is.
But, like, they gave his nerdiness to Beth Johansson in the movie. Because she's the one with, like...
She's the coder.
Yeah.
And the sysop.
like, her personal laptop, when he goes through it, has, like, Zork and... This was, like, Bikini Babes from Venus or some other, like, horny game or something like that. And, like, she's given, like, the attributes of the lonely person. Or the nerd, I guess, like the geek.
My biggest complaint from what I recall is that the movie turns Mark Watney into a hero, whereas the book, it's about the ensemble.
And we'll get to that at the end. Because, I have words about the end. So, how does Watney proceed from here? He realizes that there are more supplies at this other crater on Mars, which is already been set up for the next Ares mission, which is in a few years.
Yes.
It's 3,200 kilometers away. It's going to take him 50 days to get there. And his rover does not have the capacity for that. He could do maybe, I think he says 15 kilometers one way before he has to recharge or something like that. It's a really short distance and period of time.
Yeah.
So to expand on that, he realizes he could turn the heat off, but then it's really cold. So he digs up the nuclear reactor that got them there.
Yay!
So now he's warm.
Yay!
Terrifying. He's dying of cancer as soon as he gets back to Earth. Meanwhile on Earth, recognizing that he's alive, they contact Bruce over at JPL.
Yes.
And they give him an unreasonable time frame to send a probe full of supplies up to Mars.
It's like 48 days or something.
I have 3 months written down.
Well, that
So-
doesn't include the... Sorry.
That comes in later with the 14 days.
The safety checks.
That changes later.
Yeah.
Watney decides, I need to find a way to contact with NASA. How can I do it? Can't fix the comm satellite because part of it is broken inside of me. And I think it was relaying through Hermes. It's not clear in the movie how they were communicating from the base to Earth prior to, but I believe it was relaying from the Hab to Hermes and then to Earth from there.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Hermes and the Hab are only like a couple of milliseconds off time-wise, and there's like a 12-minute delay, 12 or 17 minutes.
It's 12 minutes. 12 minutes each way.
Okay.
That's specific.
Yeah.
And I think scientifically accurate, if I'm not mistaken. So what he does is he recognizes that the Pathfinder probe that was shot to Mars in the 90s is still there. No one would have taken it away. So he hunts it down.
Yes.
And as he starts driving, they're tracking him on the satellite and go, where's he going? They also figure it out. So Kapoor rushes to JPL. They bust open the replica from the 90s. They bring in all the old guys that are still there from 97 that can work the thing. They pop open the computers that I was using in middle school. It's a great touch that I love in the movie. The detail of the computers that are connected to Pathfinder are like old, like thick monitor Dells.
Yes.
Large towers, cheap, running on like early Apple. Like, it's a great little touch there. He finds Pathfinder, gets it back to base, puts a new battery in it, gets it up and running. At first, all he can do is a question and then a yes or no, and they point the camera to answer.
He already solves that before. In the book, he has already realized that's going to be a problem, and so he has everything prepared.
Oh, he does not. He solves the problem once it occurs.
Because he uses ASCII, right?
Yeah, ASCII or hex. He uses hex code.
Yeah.
To communicate, and it's pretty quick in the movie. They teach him how to hack the OS of the rover.
Yeah.
To use Pathfinder to communicate.
Yeah.
Which streamlines everything.
Yes.
He's finally communicating. The first thing that he says when he finds out that the crew doesn't know is, "What the fuck?" And the world sees it.
Yes.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I believe in the book he says, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And that's when Venkat tells him that, this is being broadcast to everyone.
Yeah.
You need to watch your language.
And I think he replies with something also vile.
Yes, he does.
But we never see what he says.
In the book, I think he drops the F-bomb again.
Oh, he absolutely does. So it's been 4 months. The crew is on their way back.
Yes.
It's the first time we retouch with them in the story.
And there's
when they find out.
There's a whole struggle in the novel that's going on between Teddy and Venkat and the third guy, not Bruce. There's a third guy, Mitch. Mitch is the other mission.
Oh, the flight director.
Yes.
Yeah, Henderson.
Because Mitch immediately is like, you need to tell the commander that this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, no, because we have no way of rescuing him and we have to get them home safe first. And so finally it gets to the point where Venkat goes out of the country for some reason. And so Mitch corners Teddy and is like, we're telling them. And Teddy's like, yeah, whatever.
The argument's in the movie, but the resolution of it is not.
Oh.
We just get the crew gets a video message basically explaining to them.
In the book, you also get, when they find out, you get the what happened on Sol 6 from their point of view.
Ooh.
And you see, like, how hard Commander Lewis looked for him and how hard everyone else wanted him to, like, the MAV actually tips too far and they burn excess fuel to get it to stay put at an angle.
That's all
so
in the opening scene.
Yeah, so she can look longer.
Martinez buys her some more time by doing that.
Yes.
To try and get everybody off the planet.
Who are the... So you've got Martinez.
So you got Martinez, the pilot, played by Michael Pena.
Okay. Vogel is the German guy.
Vogel's the German guy.
Who's the chemist.
Beck, I don't know what his position is, other than love interest for Johansson.
That's Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian
right?
Stan, yeah.
Beck is the... I know he's the EVA specialist.
Okay.
And I think Vogel might also be the geologist. I can't remember what else Beck does.
All Vogel does in the movie is chemistry, because he makes a bomb at one point.
Yes.
And I think he does, like, navigation.
Yeah. And then Johansson is the code, the programmer.
Mm-hmm. So they find out that Watney's alive. Lewis takes responsibility.
The other thing is that Martinez and Lewis are both former military. Or current military.
They are military because they risk court-martial when they mutiny later.
Yes.
Mutiny!
Because Commander Lewis is like... When she finds out, she's like, I abandoned him on Mars. And, like, Martinez is, like, trying to get her to not...
Mm-hmm.
And Watney also makes clear multiple times that he's like, you did nothing wrong.
Exactly.
You did what you were supposed to do.
That's clear. When they're told by Henderson makes it clear to them that Watney does not blame them.
Yeah.
That Watney understands that they did what they needed to do. They assumed him dead, and they were right to assume him dead.
Yeah.
So, after this, he's living on Mars. He's farming. Yep. He recognizes that he's officially a colonizer because he has planted crops on this land. He has created fertile soil.
Yep.
He has colonized Mars. It would be a white man. This is when he does the Fonzie pose. Ugh. And then this is when the hab blows up.
So the book does something interesting where it switches between points of view. Everything from Mark's point of view, or almost everything from Mark's point of view, is the entry logs. Mm-hmm. You've got a sort of limited third person when you're on Earth or with the crew. And then you also have omniscient third person. And that's when you know bad things are going to happen. Oh. It trains you that whenever you see it switch to omniscient third-person narration, you're like, oh, I'm getting backstory on why this piece of critical equipment is about to fail. So throughout this chapter, it's splitting between Earth, Mark, and the omniscient narration, explaining how the hab is built. And it talks about how when they put it together, there wasn't quite enough canvas for airlock 1. So there was a micro tear that was hidden by the way they stitched it together, and it talks about how that widens every time he goes through that airlock.
Oh, in the movie, it just explodes for no reason.
Yeah, it's because he's using the same airlock constantly, and there was a failure that there was no way for them to see.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I was actually wondering that watching it this time. Like, why does it explode? I'm sure it's explained in the book. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it explodes. And it ruins his crops. Yep. Soil's toast.
Yep.
He's done. What he's got is what he's got. He needs to live on that. And I think this is where I think you said 48 days or 47 days for Bruce to get the probe ready.
Something
this
like
is,
that, yeah.
This is where that comes into play in the movie. That's when he gets that time limit.
Yeah.
Which is something that they normally have years to do.
Yeah.
So they're all working overtime at JPL. Crew finally contacts him at this point. Yes. The crew of the Hermes. And this is also where we meet, I believe is Rich Purnell?
Rich Purnell is a steely-eyed missile man.
Rich Purnell, that man smells terrible. You can see how bad he smells in this movie.
Honeys, tread carefully. He is played by Donald Glover.
Yes, I still would. I would just need like a little like something under the nose,
Rub.
little vapor rub, little like spray some Axe or something. Gotta cover it up, little Febreze in the room. Is that smelly man is attractive and smart, and he's only in the movie for like 3 scenes, maybe. He's barely in the movie, but he steals it.
It is the turning point of the book.
Yeah.
Also, he has the launch already happened? Because the launch happens before the Rich Purnell maneuver in the book.
We meet Purnell before the launch.
Okay.
He's asked to confirm the flight path for the probe.
Yes.
The first probe. Spoiler. And he confirms that it's right, and then he just like offhand is like, it would almost be easier to, and then face drops, I need more coffee. And his boss is like, I'm your boss. And he's like, yeah. And he just starts working on the maneuver, which gets explained a little bit later on.
In the book, you're right, that does happen before the Iris probe disaster. Spoilers. And then the second time that we see him, the boss is yelling at him, and his boss is like, hey, you have not been doing your work. And he's just like, is it a good time for a vacation? Sure, Rich, now's a great time. And he's like, and then he turns back to continue working on it, and he's like, aren't you going to go home? He's like, I'm on vacation.
That's incredible and not in the movie, and I would have loved that. That's so good.
Yeah.
So at this point, Watney is stretching out his rations. He's eating, like, 2/3 of 1/3 of one meal every day. Plus a potato, which he's now dipping in Vicodin because he's out of ketchup.
In the book, he starts out assuming he's going to eat 3/4 rations because all the math is in there, but basically there was redundancy for 56 days for the whole crew, and because there's only one of him, he can stretch that out to 300 days. If he does 3/4, he can 400 days, and then supplementing with potatoes. And
that's earlier on when he's taking inventory of everything. He does that math.
They never specify in the book. They talk about stretching his rations, but they never specify in the book exactly what the terms are that how little he's eating.
That's an addition I like then, because they show him, like, he's doing this in the log. And it looks like a small loaf of bread, basically. Yeah. And he's like, this is one meal, one ration, one meal. I'm supposed to have 3 of these a day. And he cuts it in thirds. He's like, I've been eating 1/3 of this every day. And then he cuts 1/3 off of that. He's like, now they want me to do this. And it humanizes him in a way. Because he's not like a Superman in this movie, but he's like wicked smart. Yes. So he's doing that. They're trying to launch the probe at the same time, and this is where they realize that their rations, they picked the wrong kind of ration. It liquefies in the launch, causes a shimmy, and the probe explodes.
So in the book, it's not only the shimmy that does it. What happens is because they sped it up and skipped safety checks, one of the bolts has a minor imperfection, and that's where that impact of the liquefied protein, that's what shatters the bolt and causes the probe to explode.
That's one of the it's one of the 3 things I remember from the book is that chapter, that third-person omniscient narrated chapter that specifies how exactly this rocket is falling apart.
The end of that chapter is just Venkat and Mitch and Teddy. And it's just like explaining like you've got confirmation of there's debris in the ocean at the last approximate site of Iris, and we have confirmation. Call it. And like Teddy pulls out the red folder with the bad speech, and the last line of the chapter is just a message from Mark, and it's just, so how did the launch go?
And at this bleak, devastating moment where Watney's left without hope, I have a surprise for you.
Oh, no.
We have an advertiser.
Oh, no.
Today's episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion Podcast is brought to you by the Watney Family Organic Martian Potatoes. Watney Family potatoes are homegrown on Mars using organic fertilizers and are fully farmed by hand. Delicious no matter how you prepare them, mashed, scalloped, or even just dipped in ketchup and crushed up Vicodin. Only $3.99 a pound plus shipping and handling. Please allow 19 months for delivery after order. Watney Family Organic Martian Potatoes. They're pretty good.
Oh my god, no.
Thank you to the Watney Family Organic Martian Potatoes for sponsoring this podcast. And, so who comes in and saves the day?
So...
I should have taken a picture of your face just now.
I believe this is where the Rich Purnell maneuver is brought up to Mitch.
No, not in the movie.
Oh.
This is where China steps in.
Oh, yeah.
This is where we meet our Chinese, I have Ming and Tao are their names, the CS and A. And they see what's going on. They recognize that this astronaut's going to die. Mm-hmm. In the name of science, let's put aside our differences. We have this booster they don't know about that can help.
Yes. The Taiyang Shen.
Yes.
And do they talk about what they're going to get in return for...
That never comes up.
In the book, they're like, we're sacrificing our probe, because they have an unmanned probe, and their whole idea was to send it into space, and this would be like the first Chinese like big thing in space. And they know that the government's not going to give them the money to do this again. The booster this is their one shot at that. So what they do is what they realize is that if they give their the Taiyang Shen to the U.S., they guarantee a Chinese astronaut for Ares either 5 or 6 that they get to pick. They are publicly saving the Americans from a disaster. And there's a third thing, and I cannot remember it off the top of my head, but the joke is that shaming America, they would sell their own mothers for that kind of publicity. Incredible.
It's done out of like the Brotherhood of Science in the film.
Yes.
But like there's like pictures on Time of Bruce and the Chinese space program.
Yeah.
Doing their thing.
And the other thing is that the time crunch for the Taiyang Shen is now 28 days. Instead of the already astronomically tiny 63.
Yeah. So they have 28 days to prepare this probe.
Yeah.
And then this is where Rich Purnell comes in and explains his maneuver, which basically involves the Hermes, which is still en route back to Earth with the original 5 surviving members of the Sandstorm on it. Instead of slowing down, which they've already begun to do, to arrive, they speed up, slingshot around Earth. NASA fires this probe. They catch the probe full of more supplies, back to Mars, swing around Mars, where Watney jumps off the planet, gets caught by the Hermes, and then they come back to Earth. And I believe it adds like 19 months to their journey or something like that.
The entire...
500 days.
Yeah, it goes from like a 383-day mission to an 898-day mission.
Yeah. So presented with these two plans, the director of NASA says, no, I'm not risking 6 astronauts. I'm only risking 1. We're going to launch the probe directly to Mars. Watney will survive long enough. We'll get it there. Purnell and the flight director decide, no, we're going to sneak the information about this plan in a file that's labeled a picture of your kids to Vogel.
Unsere Kinder.
Yes.
Which he knows it's not accurate because he and his wife call their kids die Affen, which means the monkeys.
That's adorable. Not in the movie. He's just like, I have this picture of my kids I can't open. Johansson, can you help me? And she's like, it's because it's a text file. Let's just decode it. And it's like the details of the plan. Crew sits down. They all unanimously agree. This is mutiny, but we're doing it.
Yep.
And they speed up.
Yep.
Johansson hacks the computer so that they can't get overridden by NASA.
Yep.
NASA realizes we better pretend like we're calling the shots here to save public face.
Yep.
Henderson, you're resigning at the end of this mission. Great bit. The scene where they're discussing this plan at first. Henderson, played by Sean Bean.
Of course it's Sean Bean.
It's Sean Bean. They make reference to this meeting being called Elrond.
Okay,
You know from that movie, The Lord of the Rings?
Can I I rant about that for a second?
Please do.
Everyone else in the room gets it except Annie. This movie takes place, the events of this movie take place in the near future. This is a universe where the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit movies exist. You've got the Rings of Power. I know that didn't come out when this movie came out, but there is no way that you can be so culturally unaware of the Lord of the Rings that you don't know the name Elrond.
Honey, there was a guy the other day who was writing a review of the movie Tetris and hadn't heard of Tetris. Never underestimate the stupidity of people in media relations.
Fair. Also, there are no consequences for Mitch in the book.
Oh, he definitely resigns.
He does not get fired fired or resign in the thing. Also, he has an excellent line for Teddy. Because he and Teddy have the little meeting where he's like, "Why did you do this?" And Mitch is like, "They deserve to know that this was an option, and you've tried to go around them at every opportunity." And Teddy yells at him, whatever, and then it ends, and Sean Bean, Sean Bond looks at this guy and is just like, "Well, if I wasn't willing to take risks to save lives, I guess I'd be you," and walks out.
It's definitely different in the movie. Henderson's approached by Sanders, and is like, "Why did you do this? Why did you make this call? I already made the call." And he's like, "Well, they made a different call. It was their decision to do this. I just presented them with the option, basically. And I expect your resignation at the end of this mission," is basically what he's told.
Yeah.
So they swing around. David Bowie's Starman plays. It's stuck in my head.
He references a David Bowie song in the thing, and they don't use that one.
What song does he reference?
He specifically mentions the David Bowie song, I believe it's Life on Mars?
Checking the soundtrack? No, not in the movie.
He mentions 4 songs. He mentioned, by name, specifically.
Okay.
Life on Mars.
Nope.
Rocket Man.
Nope.
Alone Again.
Nope.
And Staying Alive.
I think Staying Alive plays?
He also mentions ABBA.
Oh, no, the soundtrack, ABBA's all over it.
He mentions ABBA, but no specific songs.
Turn the Beat Around, Hot Stuff, Rock the Boat, Don't Leave Me This Way, Starman, Waterloo, Love Train, and I Will Survive on the soundtrack.
He also references specifically Agatha Christie. Johansson had a bunch of Agatha Christie novels on her data stick, and he mentions the 2 books, Evil Under the Sun and The Mysterious Affair at Styles. I looked up the summaries of both of them because I have not read any Agatha Christie. Don't come for me. And I was wondering if Andy Weir would be nerdy enough to make them relevant. They are not. They are standard Agatha Christie.
Gotcha. None of that's mentioned in the movie. So as they're swinging around, getting the probe to Starman, the crew gets to have one last little Skypey with their families. Lewis's husband got her ABBA's Greatest Hits on
From
vinyl.
1976, the original.
The original pressing. Vogel has like 17 kids.
So many children.
He's got an army.
Also, really original Andy Weir. The German family is into soccer.
Oh, that's not in the movie. You see them for like once. It's like one frame of
his
8
wife,
kids and his like exhausted wife.
His wife mentions that their oldest son is the goalkeeper for the high school team.
Yeah, she's very upset with him because she's got to be alone with them kids for another 2 years.
Oh, is Martinez's wife?
Oh no, that's Martinez's wife. You're right. She's the one who's mad.
Yeah.
Because they have a 3-year-old at this point.
And she's like, he's gonna be in kindergarten and he will have no memories of you.
Yeah. Which, the end of the movie. Now that you mention that, anywho.
Also, Johansson's parents.
We don't meet them.
You don't see that?
Nope. You don't get anything from Johansson or Beck other than like a little like fling, like little looks.
Beck is talking to his sister, and his sister is like, "Why do you have to be the one that goes out there on the EVA?" He's like, "I just have to be ready to do it so that in case the probe misses." And then Johansson, do you get the sole survivor stuff in the movie for Johansson?
Nope.
So there's a minor subplot in the book Johansson is picked to be the sole survivor of the mission, and you find this out during these little clips of the various video calls. Because her dad is like, why would you agree to do this? Like, you're never gonna, why would you do this to your mother? And she's like, Dad, I'm not going to die. And he's like, how do you know that? How do you know that? And she's like, Dad, I'm not going to die.
I remember this now. That's heartbreaking.
And basically what she explains through implication is that they selected her to be the person that survives the mission if everything goes catastrophically wrong and they don't get the resupply probe because she's the smallest and lightest. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the crew will immediately commit suicide so that they don't take up any other resources, and she will basically ride Hermes until it comes home. And he's like, well, what happens when the supplies run out? And she's like, Dad, the supplies are not the only source of food. And that's what her dad realizes, and she's like, just tell mom the supplies won't run out, okay?
Well, this was a PG-13 movie. It was already 2 hours 20. So they had to cut something, I guess. Lord. So, they get the probe, start making their way. While they were making their way back to Mars, Mark Watney needs to make his way to the Ares 4. This is where we see naked Matt Damon weighing like 98 pounds, his emaciated, malnourished ass across the screen, beard, gnarly teeth. Because we jump, I think the last time we see him is like Sol 186? And this is Sol 461. 461. So it's well over a year later.
You're with him the whole time in the book, but it's essentially it's essentially stuff you've already seen, because it's more modifications he makes to the rover and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, it's a lot of really interesting science stuff, but it's more of the same in terms of what you would see visually. Like, he actually cuts into the hob and changes its shape.
That happens earlier.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
okay.
In the movie at least. They legit they leave him for a year while they deal with the Hermes stuff. And then when you come back to him, he's skinnier. Because when you first see him, when he does the surgery on himself, like, he's, movie star Matt Damon, he's got abs, he's ripped, he's young, he's handsome. Yeah. At this point, he's got a gnarly beard. Like, what's his name, in Moon. Like Sam Rockwell at the beginning of Moon.
Oh, okay.
He's like that. He's got the beard, he's got the hair, he's, like, covered in spots, his skin is, like, gray, and it's gnarly. Like, you see the effects of what he has to put himself through just to stay alive here.
That's one of the things that I wish you got a little bit more of in the book, is you get a lot of the psychological ordeals, but you don't get, like, he doesn't talk about, because he talks about, like, I'm eating enough calories to survive, like, he even is taking regular baths in the HAB. I feel like I pronounce that word differently every time I said it.
HAB, short for habitat.
Yeah. And he also, like, he also talks about how he's eating full meals, like, because you're not with him every day. Mm-hmm. But he talks about, like, oh, I did this amount of manual labor, so I ate a full ration today, or I did this, so I did whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't get, like, the visceral physical descriptions.
Yeah, like, I think the mental stuff plays better in the book because you're in his head for so much of it, whereas in the movie, having that physical representation of, like, it reads a little bit better on screen. Yeah. For sure.
Because you see the ordeal that he has put himself through.
Yeah. And he still has to get up every day and maintain everything, make sure that things still running, that he can stay alive. He's still got to work. He can't just relax.
Is he communicating with NASA the whole time in the movie?
Once he gets the rover hacked into Pathfinder, yes.
In the book, he actually loses contact with them. He fries Pathfinder with the drill after they give him the plans to go to the Schiaparelli crater.
Oh, okay.
It's a convenient way to cut him off again.
Yeah, I think in the movie he's cut off during the journey.
The sandstorm?
What sandstorm?
There's a dust storm on the journey to Schiaparelli.
Okay. So, we get him leaving, explaining that, according to maritime law, Mars is technically international waters. The HAB is U.S. government property, that's U.S. soil, but once he leaves the HAB, in a legal sense, he's in international waters. And because he's not going to have contact with NASA through this journey, he does not have explicit permission to board the MAV at the other end of the journey.
Until he gets into
until
the
he gets
MAV
in and turns it on.
They give him permission.
So he, technically, is a space pirate.
Does he also start calling his units of power pirate ninjas?
No, but he refers to himself as Captain Blondebeard.
Oh my god.
Because he explains this to us via a journal entry.
Yeah.
And then, I want to say Henderson explains it to Mindy Park, and she's like, no, I know, he told me. Like, he's telling this to everybody. It's great. But he does the journey, he drives for 4 hours, rests for 13 while the batteries recharges, and then moves on. It takes him, 50 days? Like, he leaves on 461, arrives on 517, so 50 some days.
In the book, he leaves on 449 because the flyby is 564 and he wants to give himself more than 100 days to get there and do all the modifications of the MAV that he has to do. He runs into a dust storm, and in the book, says he can't communicate with NASA, they can't warn him about the storm. So he drives a couple days into it and then realizes it and actually has a really cool way of figuring out the shape of the storm and how he gets through it. He leaves solar panels behind, and by testing the differences in efficiency of the solar panels, he's able to determine the shape of the storm and which direction it's heading.
That's very cool. It would have made this movie drag so hard in the third act.
Does he also fall? Does he roll the rover on the way into the Schiaparelli crater?
No.
Okay, yeah, he rolls the rover in the book.
God damn it, Mark.
Because it's another one of those sections that's omniscient third person.
Okay.
Where it's describing how the ramp was built and then what happens, and then you're like, Mark was driving the rover and he hit a patch of silt and then flipped the rover.
Yeah, no, we get none of that. He arrives at the rover.
Something else that's fun in the book is that those sections where it's alternating between the points of view, they get shorter and shorter as the book goes on. So it's building tension, and it's really subtly done, so you don't realize it until the final chapter when it's literally paragraph, paragraph, paragraph between.
As everything's coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Watney gets to the meth. While he was journeying, they realized the amount of fuel on this thing isn't enough to get him into high enough altitude to get caught. So he's got to strip the thing of everything. All the equipment inside, all the seats, all the supplies, leave them behind, knock some panels out, take the front off.
You're sending me into space in a convertible?
That line is not in the movie, but he does say... He says, they keep saying you're going to be the fastest man to ever travel in space. Now, scientists don't use the word fast when describing space travel. They're using that word specifically to get me to agree with it because it sounds cool to be the fastest man in space. And they're right.
Yes.
So he straps himself in. The Hermes is arriving. Launch goes as well as it can. He gets knocked out. 12G.
He, I don't know if it's made clear in the movie, but he breaks his ribs.
He says that. He specifies that he broke his ribs. Which now I'm madder about the thing.
Yes. Because he says the thing about, the thing that I opened with, it's in space no one can hear you scream like a little girl. That's because...
That's why I had no idea what you were talking about when you said that.
Yes, he says that because he talks about how he turned off his mic and shrieked the entire time he's being hauled into the ship because of his broken ribs.
Okay. So, in the movie, he gets up there. They realize that he is going to be, multiple kilometers away. I have it written down.
There was an issue with...
They realize he is going to be 68 kilometers away at the intersect point.
The ragtop on the convertible caused drag.
That's not explained in the movie. They're just like, oh, he's off course.
Do you see the flapping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I guess it's told.
Yeah.
So they use extra thrust to bring that distance down to 0, and now all of a sudden he's going 43 meters per second in comparison to them. The limit's 10. So, how do we slow down? Let's blow the front off the ship. So Vogel makes a bomb using some kitchen equipment that he finds. Sugar and oil and...
It's straight up just sugar.
We see him pour sugar in and he has a couple other ingredients. I don't recall off the top of my head. I didn't write them down. But they blow the airlock off. Mm-hmm. Get it to where he's within, I think, like 300 meters of the ship. And Mark, in his delirious state, just woke up from being passed out, goes, I can, like, poke a hole in my glove and Iron Man myself. He uses the verb Iron Man.
He uses it in the book as well.
Iron Man myself to the ship. And Lewis, being responsible, goes, no, we got this. But he does it anyway.
He does not do it. The exchange as it happens between him and Lewis is, do not do that, it's stupid.
That is the third thing I remember from this book. Is that he doesn't do it in the book. Because they're like, it's stupid and you're delirious. Science. Let's do what we can do. And they make it work. But no, it's a movie. You have to have an action scene. You have to have Matt Damon be the hero and do the hero thing where he and Lewis fucking wall-e each other with his Iron Man hand as she's on the rover thing tethered and they spin a bunch and it looks like they're gonna kiss, but they're not. And it's very Hollywood and it just pisses me off.
The Iron Man thing is stupid. I agree. That is absolutely them making this story about Watney being a hero. In the book, it's Beck. Beck is the one who gets him.
Really?
Yes. I actually don't mind the change, because I get the streamlining of... And that tells the story of Lewis was finally able to bring the person she left behind back home.
Lewis doing it makes sense. Like, it makes perfect logical sense in the movie. She's the commander. It's her. She takes the blame for leaving him behind.
Yeah.
She needs to be the one to get him.
Exactly.
Completely understandable. How do they get him back in the ship in the book?
In the book, Vogel and Beck are both suited up. Basically, Vogel is Beck's backup. Mm-hmm. Beck is tethered, and he says something to Vogel. He's like, if he's not close enough, untether me. And Vogel's like, absolutely not. And Beck is like, do it. I have enough juice to get us back. Because he's like 100, the tether's like 150 meters or something. Yeah. And so Beck basically does an EVA while he's tethered, grabs Watney.
He never untethers?
No, he never untethers.
Oh, because there's a bit where Lewis is at the end of it, and she says, untether me. And that's when Mark goes no and stabs himself in the hand, and Iron Man's his way. Yeah.
No, they're actually close enough that Beck can get into the
module,
brutalized Mav, to get Watney. And it's actually really intense because it's like, you know how everything in space is like check, call and response checks. It's like contact with Watney, and Watney's like contact with Watney, and everyone's like cheering, and it's great. And so Watney is still clipped into his seat at that point too, because he was like, I can meet you outside, like I can meet you on the edge, and Lewis is like, no, stay put until we have you. And so then they get him, they go out through the Mav, and then Vogel basically waits until they're equalized with the ship and then hauls them back in.
Okay.
And that's the end of the book.
Oh, it's not the end of the movie.
Watney has his whole little speech where there's a joke about how bad he smells.
That's in the movie.
Yeah.
They pull him in and like the music is swelling and it's fading out and you hear someone say like, you need a bath.
Yeah, he describes himself as smelling like a skunk that took a shit on some sweat socks.
It's so gross. Alright, who smells worse, Watney or Purnell?
So then he has this whole little wrap up at the end where he's like, I only got back because all of Earth was rooting for me, and China and the US worked together and helped out, and like my crew sacrificed for me. And it's the end of the book is all about how like this is an ensemble. Watney came home yes, he did a lot of work on Mars, but Watney was not the only one trying to keep himself alive.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the book, is his final thing where he's like, I'm ready to go home.
Okay. The movie continues, actually.
Uh-huh.
He gets on the ship, they get home. And then every scene change in the movie Sol, whatever it is, Sol 155 pops up on the screen. Which I think we should explain probably that Sol is like a day on Mars because it's a few hours more than 28 hours or something.
Yeah, I think it's only 4 hours. I think you're right.
It's not explained in the movie what a Sol means, but we understand it to be a day on Mars. When he's back on Earth, it's day 1. And he's sitting on a bench at, I don't know what school he's at. It's basically astronaut school. A bunch of trainees run by him. They all say, sir. He's looking at a plant break through the gravel, and he's, cheerful about it. And then he goes and he teaches his class. He's training new astronauts. And then over the closing credits, we see what happened to various members of the crew. Mindy Park gets a promotion. She's in charge of... I think she's in charge of SATCOM now.
Do you get, the arc with her over the book? Because, when she first starts out, she's, really shy and timid. And, by the end of the book, she's cracking jokes and, talking back to Mitch and Venkat and everyone else.
She comes out of her shell through the movie, but she doesn't have much of an arc. Other than just, job promotions and becoming more important than just... Because the first time we see her, it's 1:30 in the morning. She's the only person there, and she's just poring over satellite pictures. And then at the end, she's in charge of that unit for the Ares 4... No, I guess it would be Ares 5.
At that point, depending
because I think they cancel Ares 4 because how are they getting off the planet? The map's gone now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the closing credits is the start of the Ares 5 mission. She's in charge of that. Kapoor's still there. Sanders is still there. Henderson does resign. He's golfing. On board the ship is Martinez. Martinez goes back up.
Oh.
What's her name? Lewis stays home. She's got, a family.
Mm-hmm. Martinez also has a family.
Yeah. His wife, Big Mad. He might be divorced at this point. He going back up? Beck and Johansson are together and they have a child.
She, just had the baby, right? It's a fresh baby.
She's holding the baby. They're in the hospital watching the launch. There's a new flight director that we don't meet. The Chinese delegation is in Houston for this launch. So I think that implies that it is a joint project at this point.
Okay.
Going back to your earlier point.
Yeah.
And Watney is satisfied teaching his kids. And the last thing he explains to them is, he's like, this is the first day of class. I'm going to answer some questions up front. Yes. I survived being alone on a planet. I don't want to talk about it. 2, the reason I survived is what we're learning here is that sometimes, yes, you think you're going to die. What you need to do is work the problem. Solve the problem. And that's where the movie ends. And I like the movie a lot. I think it's a very good movie. I do love the book, though.
He specifies before he gets in the MAV on the rescue day that he was down to 41 potatoes. That is how close he came to starvation.
Oh, he's got 6 months then. The amount of ration he was doing. Does he have any Vicodin left to dip him in?
He does not. He takes Vicodin in the book, but he does not dip them in the Vicodin.
He straight up just crushes up a pill and then takes the end of the potato and just dunks it in, takes a big bite.
I feel like this goes back to the thing we were saying earlier about how the movie, I get it. You need to have a hero, you need to streamline stuff, but it really does feel like they made Watney, they turned Watney into Hermione from the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of takes away from the other important aspects of the book, because when you have a superhero, why are you...
Yeah, from my memory of the book, and it's been probably 8 years since I read it.
Yeah.
It was very pro-science and pro, NASA in general. But also, it felt like a thesis of the book was one man can't do it.
Exactly.
And the movie does kind of lean more towards a one man kind of can.
Yeah. Yeah.
To an extent, though. Because there is a scene right before the hab blows up where he explains that... Or somebody explains that the NASA has a team of botanists trying to help him manage his potatoes. And he keeps telling them in different words to go fuck themselves.
Yep.
And they're mad because he is very good at his job. but also immediately after the hab explodes.
Yeah.
And because we don't get the thing about the micro tear in the movie, I was believing like, oh, maybe he did do something wrong, and we just don't know what it is.
It is actually like implied, and maybe I'm just reading into this too much. The way that chapter is written, it's implied that his constant communication with NASA is part of the reason the airlock explodes when it does.
Because he has to keep going out to the rover.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Because he used to only be going in and out maybe twice a day, and now it's like 5 or 6 times a day. Mm-hmm. And so it's every time he's doing that, it's constant stress. So there's like an implication. There's definitely like, it's definitely a pro-science, pro-smart people, pro-working this problem, but it's also... sometimes bureaucracy is not what you need. Mm-hmm. Like, clearly he's kept himself alive this long. You don't need to interfere that much.
Yeah, like, in a life and death situation, bureaucracy can get in the way.
And I think that's exemplified by the character of Teddy as well.
Yeah.
It's like, Teddy is the bureaucrat. Because, like, he's the one that has to answer to the government. He's the one that is, like, the face of the organization. And he's the one who everyone gets mad at no matter what decision he makes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what were your thoughts on the book?
I really like it.
Okay.
I really like it. It's accessible because he makes a lot of it's pretty basic, like, scientific concepts, but he explains like a lot of the terminology, and he does it in such a way that it's like he's very smart by using like a mechanical engineer and botanist to be the one who's like, okay, so I had to learn this, so I'm going to make sure that you know what it is because I didn't know what it was. Mm-hmm. And that kind of layman, expert, but expert layman.
Yeah.
Like, not the most experty expert.
Yeah. I think it's a brilliant movie.
For a debut novel, holy cow. It's an excellent debut novel.
It's a good, really good book. It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
I honestly recommend both. The way they shoot Mars in this movie is absolutely stunning. I say shoot Mars as if they sent a crew and like it's eerie and haunting and beautiful, and there's a scene where he explains that like some days he would just go out and stare into the horizon because he could. Yeah. And it's fascinating, and it's why I brought up earlier that I wanted to be an astronaut as a kid. It reawakened a lot of those feelings of exploration. And to steal a bit from the Truman Show, it's not a good time for explorers. We've already explored everything. I can't remember the actual line, but when she pulls down the map and she's like, see, we've already found everything. There's nothing left to explore. And it's like, there's still space, and there's still so much. Like, there's a whole planet there, and he's alone on that planet, and there's still artifacts. And that's another thing I really like about it is the leaving of artifacts. Like, he finds the old Pathfinder probe. Yeah. But he's also he leaves a note in the rover that's like, to whom it may concern, this rover saved my life, Mark Watney. Like, he signs on the wall of the hab where he marked off how many souls he was there. And it's fascinating because, like, there's a far future where Daddy Elon finally colonizes Mars.
I will not be going to a Mars that is colonized by...
all of the Martian Elonites go visit the hab and pay tribute to Mark Watney, the greatest American hero, because we live in a hellscape.
It's something that's... Do they explain the significance of any of the naming conventions or anything in the movie?
Like Hermes, Ares, Iris? No. They're just named that.
So, in the book... Hermes and Ares they don't explain, but they explain Iris because that's when they're still communicating with him. Mm-hmm. Iris is the Greek messenger god. She is she's a goddess who gives messages to, like, from gods to gods, but she's also a messenger goddess in a similar way that Hermes is. Okay. And she's also the goddess of rainbows. Because of how fast she moves across water, she created the rainbows. But a lot of the references a lot of the NASA names and stuff are Greek gods or goddesses.
Apollo, Mercury missions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that he specifically references here are Polaris,
Yep.
Deneb, Deimos, Phobos, Ares, Hermes, and Iris.
Aren't Deimos and Phobos the moons of Mars?
Yes, they
Okay.
are.
Yeah. Well,
Phobos is the god of death.
well, Iris they misnamed. They should have called it Icarus. And on that groan of pain, I think it's time we should wrap this up. So, where can people find you online if they so choose to?
If they choose to, I am on Twitter at Pretty Special. That's PrittySpeshyL. I will spell it correctly this time. And Mr. Beck, where can people find you online if they so choose to?
If you choose to, I am on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Letterboxd at Mr. Billy Beck, MrBillYBeck. Say hi. You can also follow the show on Twitter for now, at SoonMajorPod. Working on other accounts. Please stay tuned. We have not yet decided what we're doing next week, so it'll be a surprise.
It's a surprise.
Keep an eye on the Twitter. I'll drop hints as soon as we figure it out. And on that note, I am craving French fries.
This is just going to be a lot of disappointed groans, y'all.
If we can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa, or he'll get us locked up in fights. There's a star.